Coming up on Cannons Full Contact, we go all access with the Cannons in their home opener against Chesapeake. We profile Cannons midfielder Kevin Buchanan, who's one of the best in both the MLL and the indoor game. Plus, we talk with Metro Lacrosse CEO Aaron Jones. It's time to get excited. Cannons Full Contact is live on the air. Hello everyone and welcome to the third episode of Cannons Full Contact. I'm Margo McCauley and I'm joined as always by former Cannons defenseman Jack Reed. Jack, it's great to see you.
Great to be back, Margo. Exciting start to the season. Lizards on tap this week, always a big one.
Always a big one. After opening the season with back-to-back road games, the Cannons are now in the middle of a 4-game homestand. Jack, what was it like to play at that amazing Coliseum-like place at Harvard Stadium?
I took the words right out of my mouth. It's almost like being a modern-day gladiator. I mean, you're not battling to the death, you're battling for the win, but walking out into Harvard, it feels like you're at the Coliseum. I think the atmosphere has contributed to greatly from the tailgating atmosphere around there. I know that's a part I look forward to now that I'm not a player, but a fan.
The atmosphere at Harvard, great inside and outside of the stadium. To find out what makes it so great for the fans, we sent our Full Contact crew to the home opener on May 6th. Take a look.
Kids just love lacrosse. They always come here. Just a great atmosphere. Like, you see a lot of the same kids every year. I did this last year, and I see a lot of the same faces. So it's a great family atmosphere, and like a lot of the families love coming back.
My kids have done some things where they've played on the field outside beforehand, so they get kind of pumped up.
We have a cornhole right over here. We have just like a little net they can shoot on. The mascot walking around, you know, just like getting the kids involved, just like saying hello, just basically bringing a good energy.
So, Boomer wants to be interviewed. There you go. All right, Boomer, how long have you been with the Boston Cannons?
21!
And what's your favorite part about being part of the Boston Cannons?
Everything!
Well, you guys are getting in the way of this interview.
Players come out, they high-five them, you know, just say, what's up, guys?
It's really fun. You get to say good luck to the players. I like to high-five Brody Merrill.
It just makes my heart swell because he gets out here and he sees people that he can, as a lacrosse player, he can look up to and emulate. So that's a nice thing. And the fact that they take the time to say hello to the kids before and after the game means a lot.
I think coming to the Cannons game is lit.
I love when they score.
Because you get to see all this action, and you just think that maybe you could be that good.
But just watching the game and the experience and the crowd, I guess.
Hey, I got more Cannons on you! You want to get on camera? Come interview with me. Come on. Yeah, I like it. Hey, Joe! We're back. Win the ball buses.
Yeah, we're having a blast. The opposing team's losing.
In your face, Joe! Nice backup plan on face-offs, Coach!
One of our favorite things is afterwards, when the players come out to sign.
You talk to them, like, they're really friendly. They're just like, you realize they're just normal guys, and they're just playing for the love of the game, the same thing.
And it gives my kids someone to look up to and see that they can do it sometime.
We are the Bloodmen!
If you haven't been to Harvard yet for a Cannons game, you should definitely get out there and check it out. On the field in that game on the 6th, the Cannons fell to the Bayhawks 19-18. Jack is joined at our touchscreen monitor now by Cannons coach Sean Quirk.
Thanks, Margo. So I'm joined by Coach Quirk. Coach, we're going to take a look at a key fourth quarter play from the Chesapeake game.
Sounds great, Jack.
Under 7 minutes, fourth quarter. You guys are now down for the first time in the game, and the defense is looking for a key stop here. Is that a fair picture?
Yeah, Chesapeake's going into an invert against David Earl, one of our two-way midfielders. Ball turns into a scrum here before defenseman Matt Landis from Notre Dame pulls it out. It's a really great ground ball. He stayed with it. Gets the overpass now to Brandon Mullins.
And now you guys are up and out. Here comes transition. long clearing pass for Mullins. Who's he hitting?
That's James Fahey, a local guy from UMass Amherst.
You.
Gets it up to James and really steps in that two-point arc for a hard overhand shot to tie it up with just a little over 6 minutes left in the game.
James didn't really hold back on that shot, huh, Coach? He just let it rip.
Certainly. You know, that's something we really encourage our polls to do, is push that transition game, start us with the offense, and they do a really good job of that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining and sharing that insight with us, Coach.
Thanks, Jack.
Still to come on Full Contact, we visit with Cannon star Kevin Buchanan to talk about balancing lacrosse and his life off the field. And our community spotlight features the great work being done by Metro Lacrosse right here in Boston.
We're on to you, diabetes. Time's up insufficient prenatal care. And administrative paperwork, your days of drowning people are numbered. Same goes for you, budget overruns. And rising costs. Wipe that smile off your face. We're coming for you too. For those who won't rest until the world is healthier, neither will we. Optum, how well gets done.
Feed in front, score! Kevin Buchanan finds the open Buchanan, he scores! Kevin Buchanan. Buchanan's got it! And there's your game winner! The Boston Cannons are still alive!
Welcome back to Cannons Full Contact. It seems hard to believe, but Kevin Buchanan is now in his 8th season with the Cannons. In that time, he's won an MLL championship, been named an All-Star multiple times, and even won the freestyle competition at halftime of one of those All-Star games. He has become one of the best players in the game, both in the MLL and in the indoor game. And oh yeah, he's also a father of 2. We sat down with him recently to see how he's balancing all of that.
My love of the sport really started with my father. So he was the one that introduced it to me. My dad played lacrosse growing up as well. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, just north of a town called Towson. I grew up in Cockeysville. Baltimore is a little bit of a mecca when it comes to lacrosse. He played at UMBC and so forth and so on, and then, you know, my older brother played. He coached me really all the way up until I went to high school, where I went to Calvert Hall, which is a pretty well-known school in the MIA. It's a very popular league, tough league. And then really was able to give me a great platform to launch into Ohio State. I played for Coach Bresci, who now is head coach at UNC, and as well as Coach Myers. He was the offensive coordinator, who I worked more closely with him probably over my 4 years than I did Coach Bresci, as he's more of a D-focused guy, and very, very proud to be a Buckeye alum. So Ohio State had a pipeline, if you good word to say, is with Western guys out of British Columbia. Their game is more geared towards, as they know lacrosse, is box lacrosse. So we recruited a lot of Canadians from, or Ohio State did, from BC. I played with one Canadian in particular, majority of my time at Ohio State, this guy named Joel Delgarno. He was a lefty. I played X and he played the left wing, and we did a lot of two-man game. You know, that was something that he was used to, and it's something that I adapt to very, very well. I kind of got ingrained with box lacrosse through him, you know, just kind of through the internet thing and showing clips of him back in playing, you know, in the senior leagues, the Coquitlam leagues and stuff like that, with, you know, him showing highlights of him fighting and stuff like that, you know, just crazy stuff. And that was kind of my first introduction, and then kind of really starting to say, hey, you know, maybe this is something for me. And then after I graduated, I took a stab at it and was able to play in the 2009 season.
Throws it behind his head to Buchanan, he shoots and scores.
I've played in both leagues all of except 1 year. I don't know if balancing is even a word. It just, time management, just trying to figure it all out. I have a great support system around me. I'm actually a father of 2. I have 2 young boys. My oldest one, Hovey, is 2 years old. He just turned 2 this month, and it's a goal of mine to be able to continue to play and hopefully have him be able to remember himself without looking at photos or videos, or him coming to a game, or us, you know, playing catch after, post, pre, whatever it may, you know, from my wife Jen, you know, who locks down the home, and the 2 boys. And then I've been fortunate from a professional standpoint to work in an industry and in a job that gives me a little bit of flexibility to be able to play in both leagues. You know, my son Hovey is coming up through the ranks. He knows exactly what my stick is, and he wants my game stick versus the stick that I cut down for him. So a lot of that, really just enjoying my time with them, and hopefully as they get older, I'll bring them along with it. But yeah, just enjoying the ride for right now and just loving it.
So here are some of the highlights of Buchanan's MLL career. After earning All-American honors at Ohio State, he was the 5th overall pick in the 2008 MLL draft by the Los Angeles Riptide. After spending 1 season in LA and 1 with the Bayhawks, he joined the Cannons for the 2010 season. He scored 20 or more goals in each of his first 6 seasons with the Cannons and was a key member of Boston's 2011 MLL championship team.
So joined once again with Coach Quirk, talking about Kevin Buchanan, somebody I had the pleasure of playing with both indoor and outdoor. What's it mean to be getting Kevin back?
Right, Jack. It's really great to have Kevin back and really to get his experience. He's a veteran player in the league and with the Cannons. It'll add certainly a lot of punch to our offense.
You mentioned his offensive role. Is he an attackman? Is he a midi? I can't really quite tell where he fits. He's coming out of the box. I know he doesn't play defense. That's what I've definitely picked up. Is that fair?
Absolutely. We run him as a midfielder. A few years ago, the Cannons certainly put him at attack at times, so he's versatile in that way. But yeah, he's a guy that we try to get off on defense, get our defensive midfielders on, but he certainly does a really great effort on the offensive side of the ball.
Goal scorers should probably stick to scoring goals and leave the D stuff to the ugly guys, right? Is that what we're getting at a little bit there?
Absolutely.
What would you say is one of the more unique things about Kevin Buchanan?
Kevin brings a dynamic to the team that's certainly intense when it needs to be, but he's a guy that can lighten up the atmosphere also when needed. No pun intended, but he's certainly quirky in that way that he can do it at both ends, Jack.
Well, it's certainly great to see him back at his true position, playing on the full field and welcoming from the indoors.
Coming up next here, we're going into the community with Metro Lacrosse.
It's not normal. It's not routine. It doesn't do usual, or run-of-the-mill, or typical. It doesn't have speeds, or limits, or restrictions. It's refreshingly simple, but it's never ordinary. Try Mino. Protein never tasted so good.
Welcome back to Cannons Full Contact. I'm Margot McCauley. Metro Lacrosse is a nonprofit youth development program whose mission is to foster positive life enrichment, character development, and healthy life choices among urban youth and teens through participation in the sport of lacrosse. On April 29th, they held Morgan's Day, an event dedicated to the memory of Bates lacrosse player Morgan McDuffie, who passed away trying to stop an act of violence. That day is the topic of this week's Trimino Community Spotlight.
So I think what happens when a tragic accident occurs is it leaves you with the question of what if.
What if the people he was trying to help hadn't gotten into a fight that night? What if they hadn't been drinking? What if they hadn't responded when somebody called them a mean name?
What if you make different choices? What if you handle conflict differently? What if you apply yourself? What if you use the sport to try your hardest?
Let's go! Let's go!
Leadership requires consistency and commitment. We try to inspire our kids to do that, and we believe that that's what this day is all about. Metro Lacrosse is an organization that is the largest, most comprehensive urban lacrosse program in the United States. The mission of Metro Lacrosse is to teach healthy living, character development, and major life choices to the kids through the sport of lacrosse. Morgan's Day, we're in our 10th Morgan's Day this year, and it also commemorates that same mission-based agenda. It is all in honor of a former volunteer for Metro Lacrosse, Morgan McDuffie, who played for us, or coached for us and played the sport at Bates College. Teammates were getting into a conflict and he went out to help them, but someone else tragically stabbed him and he died. But his spirit of commitment to his team, commitment to community is what we live for out here through the Morgan's Day celebration.
Family on me! Family on three! 1, 2, 3! Family!
Well, I mean, I think the one important thing that everyone, will know is that these kids can relate to that. The areas that are growing up in this area, there's a lot of that goes on, and they can relate to that. They understand the pain and the feeling of that. This is an opportunity for them to see different ways of doing things. So being able to relate to what happened to Morgan and understanding that we're doing something positive out of that, hopefully can inspire 1 or 2 kids. If that's all we can get, then that's a start in the right direction, you know what I mean? Again, that's why I give so much credit to you guys, Metro Lacrosse and everyone else, because it's an avenue that they would never go down, and they would never have this experience.
You can't go backwards. Take advantage of all your opportunities right now. And if this is what you want to do, be the best you can be. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it.
Well, I think anytime you can honor somebody through a day where there's so much joy and so much potential, where we have kids out here playing a wonderful game of lacrosse together, it's hard to think of a better way to honor a memory of somebody like Morgan.
We're just proud of everybody coming together to show kids from a non-traditional background that lacrosse is an opportunity for them like it's been for so many other people. Lacrosse made a seminal difference in my life. I come from a similar background that the kids here in the program are, and lacrosse for me got me to an Ivy League school, advanced education, and over 20 years of corporate executive experience. And I'm really here to just bring back all that the game has brought to me, to these kids, and use the sport to change lives like it changed mine.
Cecilia, get open!
We'll probably have about 350 kids out here by the end of the day, and about 1,000 people from the community to come out. So we love the day. Fortunately, we've had great weather. Everything has worked out for us, and the day has just begun.
And for me, a lot of what I think about is what's the takeaway of this day for all of you. I think the what ifs for me are all of you. What if you hear Morgan's story and you change how you would deal? What if you end up going to college on a lacrosse scholarship and go on to change your community? And I know Morgan held lacrosse very close to his heart, and it took him to great places, as I'm sure it will for all of you.
Understand that every time you get out on the field, you're surrounded by choices of what if, because we all want to say when, not what if, but when we all graduate from high school and get scholarships to go to college. So let's get started, everybody. Let's get started. All right.
I'm now joined by Metro Lacrosse CEO Aaron Jones. Aaron, tell me about this organization and how it's grown in its 17 years.
Okay, yes, we have been around since the year 2000, so we're in our 17th year. And we're proud to say we're the largest and most comprehensive urban lacrosse and youth development organization in the United States. So we've grown considerably over the years. I am the 4th CEO of the organization, and now we have probably over 800 kids through our year-round programming. And we are a totally donor-funded organization, so we thrive on the generosity of the lacrosse community and the New England community for all of our success, and we are extremely proud of all the results that we've gotten.
And I mean, the kids that are a part of Metro Lacrosse are great kids off the field and really special on the field as well. You guys have a U15 team that's absolutely cruising right now, 5-0, unbeaten. Amazing.
Well, the mission of our organization is to focus on youth development and positive character development. But really, we try to utilize the passion that lies in the sport of lacrosse to open up possibilities for our kids. So you're right. Our kids have to go through some specific challenges to get out onto the field and be successful. But we teach them how to zone into that grit and that possibility and reach that success. One of the shining examples is this year we joined the MBYLL, or the Mass Bay Youth Lacrosse League, for the first time in our organization's history. And as you mentioned, I don't want to brag, but our U15 team is undefeated, and we are, as we say on the field, we're crushing it.
I love it. Well, you know, what's special is that the Cannons are here in Boston. Do the kids get to go out and support the Cannons in their home games?
You know, one of our proudest partnerships is with the Boston Cannons. We're their official nonprofit organization, and they have been tremendous help to us not just from a standpoint of exposing our kids to what's possible on the field as far as where lacrosse can take them. Josh Hawkins has been out any number of times with our kids. He's almost like an official coach, and he's so visible for us. But the Cannons as an organization has opened doors to us to show all of our kids the possibilities of what's available through the game of lacrosse and just the future.
Now for our viewers now, how do kids, families, supporters, donors get involved with Metro?
So again, we're a totally donor-funded organization. Everything that we do for our kids is absolutely free. And for anyone who wants to get involved, just go to www.metrolacrosse.com and find out how to get involved.
Wonderful, Aaron. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for all you do for these kids in the sport of lacrosse.
Thank you, Margot. I appreciate your time.
Coming up next, Coach Quirk joins us again with his latest drill for all of you players and coaches out there, so stay tuned.
We're on to you, diabetes. Time's up insufficient prenatal care. And administrative paperwork, your days of drowning people are numbered. Same goes for you, budget overruns. And rising costs. Wipe that smile off your face. We're coming for you too. For those who won't rest until the world is healthier, neither will we. Optum, how well gets done.
It's not normal. It's not routine. It doesn't do usual, or run-of-the-mill, or typical. It doesn't have speeds, or limits, or restrictions. It's refreshingly simple, but it's never ordinary. Try Mino. Protein never tasted so good.
Welcome back to Cannons Full Contact.
Each episode, Cannons head coach Sean Quirk takes us through a drill designed to help players improve their games. This week, it's the cone drill.
Sean Quirk here. This drill is called the cone dodge drill. Each player gets in 5 to 10 yards behind the first cone, and as you'll notice, we're working on our dodges, which are the split dodge, the face dodge, and the roll dodge during this drill. Our first dodge is the face dodge. The player is stepping with the opposite foot. So if you're right-handed, you're stepping with your left foot. You're bringing the stick across the face to try to juke out that defender that's coming out them in a poor approach situation. The next dodge is our split dodge, where again, if we're a right-handed player, we're going right and then splitting to the left. Players during this drill do change hands across the face, keeping the stick close to their chest. They're giving a shoulder wiggle, a little bit of a juke to move the defender in a poor approach situation. The second progression is staggering the cones for the roll dodge. You roll into the defender and roll away, planting with your opposite foot and then rolling back to your opposite hand. For players at all levels, it's important to incorporate 2 or 3 of these dodges so you don't become predictable to certain defenders and teams. The dodging is a key component to beating your offensive player or riding player when you're clearing the ball.
Well, that's all the time we have for this episode, Jack. Thanks as always.
Until next time, Margot, keep your chin straps buckled.
Your head on a swivel.
And your sticks in the ready position.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to be back on June 3rd with more Cannons Full Contact.